fuck does the ICJ do? What the fuck do those motherfuckers do? Because the imaginary state is launching a full-scale invasion of the West Bank as we speak right now. The same West Bank that y'all at the ICJ said that the imaginary state was illegally occupying. What the fuck does the ICJ do? And like, let's be so fucking for real, because I didn't even talk about the DNC last week. You liberals are fascist as hell. Y'all are fascist as hell. Because right now, you know for a fact that the imaginary state is illegally occupying the West Bank. You know for a fact that they are not to be doing escalated military actions in the West Bank. But yet, y'all are all sitting back in fucking silence. Then you got people like this. You got people like this. Smiling, shucking, jiving, tapping for the empire. This is the face that this man made after he was listening to people read the names of martyrs that were literally murdered by the imaginary state, funded by U.S. tax dollars. And y'all are begging us to trust these institutions, to vote blue no matter who. After the ICJ said the imaginary state has to cease all military operations in the illegal occupied territories, here they are escalating their military engagement, and y'all are begging us to vote for Kamala, even though she said repeatedly that she supports Israel's right to defend itself, that she said that she does not support an arms embargo. Be serious. America is not a democracy, never has been a democracy, and all these institutions that have been built all around the world by the West are also here to serve the interests of the West, including the ICJ. Because unless there will be some type of real intervention to stop the actions of the imaginary state, y'all just talking shit.
Guys, welcome to another special edition of Tea Time. I'm Andre.
And I'm Tired Peasant.
And our special guest that I'm so honored to talk to today, JORY MICAH. What's up, JORY?
Yay. What's up, you guys? So good to finally be with you both.
Yes, we're so happy to have you on.
Thank you so much.
It's such an honor.
Congratulations on this awesome podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're so tiny, but we growing though faster than expected. So
that's right.
Yeah. So JORY, I know you've seen that video by the wonderful Afeni. Give your thoughts on it.
Well, first of all, I love Afeni. She's great.
She's awesome.
So she's totally right. Like, what in the world are these? You know, the ICJ, the UN, all of these institutions have just proven to us that they're not going to do anything about the genocide. They're not going to stop it. And what's the point of having these like rulings, but there's no consequences if they don't follow through on the rulings? And I agree with what she said about liberals, you know, that are it was actually like the perfect expression and representation of liberals, wasn't it? Because they're like walking by literally with their fingers.
Yes, covering their ears just like this.
It's like, nah, you can't tell me nothing. So, I mean, I think that it was like the best example of what liberalism is. It's like on the out, it's such a superficial ideology, and at first it looks good because you think, oh, these people care about human rights. You know, these, like, I used to be a liberal, so I used to think that they cared. You know, I used to genuinely believe that they cared about the oppressed, that they cared about social justice issues, that they cared, because on the outside and on the superficial surface they do, or they sound like they do. But when it comes down to actually, you know, being a person of integrity and walking in your talk, it's like there's nothing there. And honestly, Kamala Harris is the perfect representation for a liberal, because she's completely phony and she's completely shallow. and she has no policies. Nobody knows what she stands for. Nobody voted for this woman. Like, she's just kind of being pushed in there. So,
yeah.
you know, I was actually kind of glad that the liberals behaved that way, because it really shows, like, people that were still on the fence about it. Like, it shows that what kind of people these are, you know, where they will completely ignore what's going on overseas just because, you know, they are comfortable. Most of them are comfortable, because if they weren't comfortable, they would be going probably further left like we have. You know, I'm saying we're not comfortable with the system. We're not comfortable with the way things are. You know, I personally don't know all the answers, and I don't know all the solutions, but I know that things aren't right the way they are. So that's kind of my response.
Right. I agree with you. Yeah.
I agree.
The Democrats, you know, when George Bush was president during the Iraq and Afghanistan war, they seemed like they was anti-war. Then all of a sudden, now since we got multiple wars now, they just right along with the Democrats. I mean, with the Republicans. So
yeah, like when 9/11 happened, oh my God, I was like so brainwashed, because like I didn't know about like it's an inside job until like later on, like I researched. But like when it happened and when George W. Bush was like evildoers, I remember I was like 16 years old. I had like the fucking Eagle shirt with the tear. I had like the Twin Towers shirt. I was just like, I was so propagandized. And I don't tell many people this, but like fuck it, I'm gonna share it. I even voted for Bush because I know.
It's okay, no judgment.
Yeah.
I
judgment free zone.
Because I was like a 15, 16-year-old kid that no one really taught me anything. So like I was easily persuaded into the propaganda.
Same. And I was coming from the religious right, you know, the evangelical movement. And I was so disappointed with that I was kind of an easy prey for the liberals, because I was looking for something different. And it really hasn't been until the last couple years that I've kind of been more comfortable with where I'm at, because I'm like, okay, at least where we're at now is a lot more authentic. Even the people that I'm being surrounded of, like when I was surrounded around liberals, I often felt like I could never be good enough, say it right, you know. I just felt out of my element a lot of times, and felt like I had to change who I am and my personality and things to, I get it. You know what I'm saying? And and again, it's because it goes back to that very shallow way of thinking, and you know, it's like a superficial version of being awake, and that's why people call it woke. You know, because it's not. It's like, okay? So you support gay rights, but you're cool with genociding people overseas that might be gay. Some of them might be gay. You know, like it's like things like that. Like you're so worried about the most superficial things, or not that they're not important, not that LGBTQ rights are not important, not that women's rights are not important. These are all important values that I think is what attracted us to probably liberalism in the first place, because we want everyone to be treated equally. But then when we've kind of like learned more and more about it, we start to realize, hey, we're not going anywhere with this. You know, this is you know, it's not really much. The only difference between them and Republicans is kind of the wokeism, you know, and Republicans. But when it comes to economic, you know, what we're interested in is changing our material realities, changing our economic reality, you know, changing the fact that soup is $20 now. It's ridiculous.
Yes. Oh my fucking gosh. Wow. I work at the grocery store, and like I was looking the other day, like for just regular soup, and it was like small. It was like $10. I'm like,
girl, I know, because I like soup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love soup too.
I have a few questions for you to ask you. You know, because that's why I'm doing this show.
Sure.
The first question is, what is your evolution like? Where did you start it from to from then to where you are now today politically?
Sure. Well, like I said, I grew up in the far religious right. I grew up in
Okay.
evangelical culture. Um, and what really kind of got me into politics was in evangelicalism, about half of the evangelical church doesn't believe that women should even speak at all in front of church, in front of the church. You know, they
Mm-hmm.
literally they take a verse that says women should be silent, and they apply it to women all across the
Mm-hmm.
board who might have something to say. So
Mm-hmm.
I of course I have a lot to say. So I started kind of resisting against that, you know, and started realizing, oh my gosh, like I went to school for this stuff, you know, and now like half this institution doesn't even want me to speak, yet they'll take my $100,000, you know, to graduate from seminary or whatever. So I started realizing that how unfair this is and how ridiculous it is, and that's what kind of led me to like the liberal side of Christianity, you know, and that was where I felt more comfortable than I did with the religious right, because at least they weren't sexist towards women, you know, at
Mm-hmm.
least they had this you know, somewhat heart for equality. And so I stayed there for quite a while. I even had this woman who I love, but for me it was so opposite of what I was taught. She was a Christian, she was black,
Mm-hmm.
and she was queer, and I actually asked her to mentor me because it was so
Mm-hmm.
opposite of what I was taught that I wanted to learn her side of things, you know, and so I mean, I really like kind of delve into liberalism, and I was really into it for about 4 years. And cuz before that I didn't start getting into politics until I was older. So I was probably in my 30s. So um I'm trying to think what led me to leftist. I think I literally remember telling my mentor that I think I need to go further left. And I remember her
Wow.
saying, you can't just go further left, you know, like you got to know what you're talking about. You got to study, you got to do that, you know,
Yeah.
kind of like that. And I was like, but that's where I think I need to go, you know. And
And
that's
that's
because
awesome, eh?
I was
That's
very
great.
inspired by black revolutionaries like Malcolm X, and of course
Mm-hmm.
Martin Luther,
Awesome.
and you know, people that, especially Malcolm X, because I was taught that Malcolm X was violent and
Me
Me
shouldn't
too.
too.
listen to violent
Me too.
people. Were you taught that
Yeah.
too?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so I didn't give him the time of day, and then I started listening to him, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I agree with this guy, like I like everything he's saying. And
Yeah.
so I was really inspired by liberation theology, which comes out of the black movement of the
Mm-hmm.
60s and 70s. So I got really into that for a while. And I think I just needed to go deeper. I think really that's what it was. Like I feel like liberalism, and I keep saying this, but it's just kind of shallow, you know.
Yeah.
It's just like we're very focused on these very much shallow things, and I just wanted to go deeper. I wanted to learn more about these revolutionaries. And I mean, I was born a revolutionary. Like I have a revolutionary spirit, you know, and
In your
Mm-hmm.
heart.
I
You're
want,
so
and I know you both do too. That's why I love it.
Yeah.
So, I
that's
mean,
Yeah.
I don't know much about, because I didn't grow up in the left at all, so I don't know
Me
a
too.
lot about the
same.
theories, to be honest. And I feel
Same,
like people
same.
have such
Me too.
different opinions about the
Mm-hmm.
leftist theories that I
Mm-hmm.
have a hard time understanding them, to be honest.
No, I
But I
agree.
know
Me
I have the
too.
heart.
Yes, yes. I always say that too on my page. I'm like, I may not know theory, like not familiar with all of it, but I feel like it's in my heart, it's in my soul that I was a revolutionary. Like, and that too, like if you have
Me
the
too.
soul, if you have the heart, the compassion for it, that's all that really matters.
Yeah. And a lot of leftists, I was like, when I found leftists, I was like, oh my gosh, these are my people. because
Yeah.
they ever like the caring about the poor, you know, like for example, like liberals, they pretend like they care about the poor, but when it really comes down to supporting policy that would help the poor, they're nowhere to be found, really.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's kind of been my journey. I've kind of just slowly, you know, ended up into the left, and I would even call it the deep end of the pool. You know what I mean? Like,
I love
it's not
that.
even just like, it doesn't
Yeah.
even have to be considered as much like the left is like, I'm ready to learn more. I'm ready to grow deeper. I'm ready to, you know, so I'd say I jumped into the deeper end of the pool, even though all the liberals were like, don't go, no. No. So yeah, they tolerated me for quite a while, until, you know, I don't know, maybe until I started calling them shit libs.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Are you good? I understand. Do you I seen on Twitter you volunteered at a food kitchen, right? Sometime.
I did.
Oh, you did. Okay. Could you share what inspired you to get involved in mutual aid?
And mutual aid. Well, first of all, do you guys know the Zionists got me fired from the soup kitchen, right?
What?
No, you don't know that?
No.
Yes.
I haven't been on Twitter much.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Okay, so this was my aunt founded this soup kitchen, okay? So she passed away several years ago. So I went back about a year ago and started volunteering again. So I was there for about a year, and the Zionists literally found out where I volunteered at. They called, faxed, emailed. Yeah, they did everything they could. So I get a call, and they're like, can you come in early tomorrow? We need to chat. And I was like, okay. So I get in there, and there are 3 authority figures waiting for me. And the vibe is totally different. Normally, I have a great relationship with these people, and the vibe's and granted, this is an evangelical soup kitchen. So they invite me into the office, and she literally has my Twitter page tweeted out with like a stack of papers this big.
Oh
and she's still printing
that's
out
crazy.
from the computer. I swear.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
And one of the guys has like handwritten notes in his hand, and another guy is like, you know, starts accusing me of anti-Semitism and white supremacy and all this stuff, saying his wife's Jewish and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, my mind is blown. I'm like, I do this for free. I do this for free.
Right.
So anyhow, it became very clear that it was either I stopped talking about Zionism and how evil it is, or I would lose my position there. And so obviously I'm never going to stop talking about Zionism. You know, because it's the cause of our time.
Yeah.
And so I lost that position, and so now I am actually not volunteering right now, but I love volunteering, and it's my heart, you know, it's what I love to do.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Additionally to like mutual aid, how like you know, I might need help with this. Like, just from your opinion, how do you address concerns from people who believe that donating mutual aid, like, you know, money wise, is risky due to like scam artists, they say, and you can't vet the people? Like, what do you say to those people?
Yeah. I would say, I mean, I think developing relationships with each other is the best way to go about mutual aid, because I'm going to be more likely to share one of you guys is like, if you need help because I know you. We've
Yeah.
talked, I know
Shared
that
an
you're
Right.
real
experience.
people. I know you're not
Yeah.
scamming,
Yeah.
but it's kind of tricky with the whole like Gaza situation, because there
Yeah.
are people that will take advantage of a really
Yeah.
Yes.
bad situation.
Like I don't know
Yeah.
what to be like sometimes I would get like DMs of people saying they're from Gaza and they need help. So I'm like, how do I know? Like I feel bad. I'm like I want to help, but
Right.
like how do you know? Is
Yeah.
there like an organization or something? Like just
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, I think in the case of Gaza, it's probably, unless you have built a relationship with someone
Yeah.
and they're not a scammer, it's probably best just to find the where you can donate to human rights
Yeah.
yeah,
organizations
I
and
heard also like Gaza funds. I think that's what it's
Yes.
called. Like
Yeah.
okay,
Gaza phone. Operation
yeah.
Olive Branch. Yeah.
Oh,
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
stuff
That's
like
what I
that,
use.
things that someone's in charge of. But
Yes.
yeah, I think that the key is just building relationships, and that's what we want to do anyway, right? We want to
yeah.
build that
Build
the
community,
camaraderie.
Mhm.
the camaraderie, community. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Um. This third question. The online left currently appears to be just disorganized. Do you believe is any chance, any possibility for us to unite and form a serious movement outside of Twitter?
Like a revolution or
I
Yeah.
do think it's possible. I think that we have a lot of infiltrators, and that's
Yes.
why I'm
yes,
always like, let's continue to do solidarity for real. Like, where you might say something that I don't agree with, or you might say something that even pisses me off, but that doesn't mean you're still not my brother or sister. Like,
exactly. Like find common ground. Find common ground with your fellow comrades because we all have one enemy.
right,
Hmm.
exactly. Find common ground, find solidarity, and understand that we're not all at the same place. Like, not everybody understands communist
Right.
theory.
Yeah,
Not everybody even understands socialist theory. So I
yeah,
think there needs to be a lot more education around these things, where it's not demeaning, or if you don't
Yes.
agree, you can't
Right.
be in our club,
yeah,
because
yeah. Like a
sometimes
clique or
it
something. Yeah, yeah. Like the
yeah,
cool
Yeah.
because
kids rule.
sometimes it takes people a minute to feel comfortable to have these
Hmm.
conversations, because they have been so taboo. Like, these, I get uncomfortable taking on any labels, because everything is set, like, people don't really know what these labels mean a lot of times. And
Right.
so I get like, like, help me to learn about it, help me to educate me, you know
Hmm.
influence me, and encourage me, just really, it boils down again to community, like,
Yeah,
have these relationships, treat each other like brothers and sisters, like a
exactly.
family, and families fight, families
Yeah,
don't agree, but they're still families, and they still stick together. And I would say, that if someone's being abusive towards you, that's different,
yeah,
unfollow, block them.
yeah,
But if
Right.
someone just annoying you, or like
yeah,
even pissing you off because you don't agree with what they say, or
Yeah.
that there's a verse, the Bible verse, that says iron sharpens iron. So
Hmm.
we're sharpening each other, as we,
Hmm.
even
Proven.
as we disagree. But I think we have to be really careful with people that talk about ally, like, we're allies, they're constantly talking about the allies, like, people that are our allies, why are we focused on putting allies down, like,
yeah. We're supposed
and I
Hmm.
to
think
push
that
together.
Yeah.
that is a red flag of someone that's infiltrating, someone that's more concerned with causing division, um, than they are with educating people and helping people to find deeper solidarity.
Yeah, because solidarity is
Yeah.
the key. Finding that common ground, educating people. Yeah, you might not like what someone said, but like in the end, we're all a community,
Yes.
we're all a family. That's how, we can get this revolution actually started, like outside of Twitter. So,
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that, that I have seen the left rise up for Gaza in an
Yeah,
organized fashion, and I mean we got
yeah,
to give them credit there. You know,
Yeah.
like
yeah, yeah,
that's not easy to do. So
Yeah.
we'll say
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. You see all factions of the left. Well, we call them the
Yeah.
boutique left, stand up for
Yes.
Gaza. So,
Yeah.
um, so, so, I know you seen on the news or whatever recently that the Israelis are protesting now for a ceasefire. Obviously, we know this war in Palestine been going on before October 7th. Um, you know, a lot of people said that they just want a ceasefire, but I think we need to go beyond a ceasefire. Um, do you ever think the Palestinians will have a right to return to their land and stuff like that?
Well, I mean, I'm an idealist, so of course I have to believe that way. You know, I have to believe that
Yeah,
they will
yeah,
one day have the right, or else what are we fighting for? You know, like
Exactly.
so I think
true.
that it's so important. I think their liberation is completely tied up with our liberation, and you
Yes.
can see how that is not just a saying. You know, like you can see how Zionists are occupying our government as well, and therefore
Hmm.
they're making all the decisions about this war. It's not even a war, it's a
Yeah.
genocide.
Genocide. Yeah.
Yeah,
Genocide. Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's like we got Zionists over in America and the UK that are in charge sending weapons over to Zionists over in the Israel. And it's like the people's voices are not being heard at all. So our government is completely occupied, just like Palestine is completely
Yeah.
occupied.
Yeah, and for the people that are not caring right now, thinking, "Oh, it's all the way over there." No, it's going to come to us. Like
Yeah.
fascism is already here, but it's going
Hmm.
to get worse. Homelessness has been criminalized. Housing
Yeah,
prices are up. Like they're
yeah,
doing something that they can
right.
keep
Police
us
state.
even more. We're going to be a mini Gaza if we don't rise up. Like,
Yeah.
100%. I always say, watch how people treat other people because that's how they're going to eventually treat you as well. You know, and, and,
Hmm.
and they're already
Yes.
here. Like you said, it's already happening, you know, and the fact that BlackRock is owned by Zionists. I don't know if you guys
mm,
know that, but BlackRock
Hmm.
is completely owned by Zionists and they are buying out all of the family housing, and then they're turning around and charging insane rent prices for this housing, and then
Hmm.
like you said, on top of that they're criminalizing homelessness.
and
So
also making like and then you go to jail and then you have to work as a like a for free labor like what they're doing now
Yes.
like, in Alabama.
100%. Yeah, so it's
Hmm.
like it's a pipeline of oppression from beginning to end. So I think that that's that liberals have not felt a lot of that oppression yet, but they
Yeah,
will.
they
And once
will.
they do, that I think sometimes I
Hmm.
honestly hope Trump wins just so liberals will come back to our side.
They
You
can get
know,
out of Brent. They can get out of the
Yeah.
brunt.
Yeah. Brunch.
get out of front,
Oh.
come help us fight. Like because if all this was going on under Trump, that it would be
Oh
totally
yeah.
different.
Oh
It
yeah.
would
Yeah.
be
Different.
they would be so much like they would not be trying to justify this genocide like they are because of Kamala.
They would be out on the streets. Yep.
Yeah,
100.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Now I got a few more interesting questions. I got all the serious stuff out the way.
Okay.
Um, this might kind of sound kind of weird, but how do you become so Twitter famous? Like your tweets just
You're
form.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I try to follow back tons of people and follow
Okay.
people like a lot of I try to like everybody's posts. Like if I can find agreeing, I like tons of people's posts, and it really comes
Mm-hmm.
down to building relationships with as many people as possible.
It's
And I
awesome.
try to, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I changed my bio to say friends to all who are friendly, because I want to, even if you don't agree with what I say, I want to draw people in, because how are we ever get our message, any message across. Developing relationships with people, not being a snob, letting anybody be your friend as long as they're not an asshole to you.
Yeah.
Content, don't be afraid to tweet as much as you can. Yeah. I mean, like, I used to be kind of embarrassed about how much I tweeted until I realized, like, that's actually a big part of how you grow a platform, is to tweet as much as possible and to retweet other people as much as possible.
Oh my God. Like, you're one of the big accounts that are not snobby. Like, you retweet everybody. Like, there's some accounts that don't do that at all. So I lead by example, and I do the same, because like, I try to give everybody a voice. And in the end, that kind of makes your page like popular. Like, it makes your message spread even more.
It does. It's kind of interesting, because the more selfless you are, the more you raise up in your following as well.
I see that too. Yeah. I think that's awesome. I think more big accounts should do that. Like, I try to follow as many people as possible. I retweet everybody's stuff, and I'm glad, like, you do the same. Like, it's a good thing.
You do. You always have. That's why I've always been very attracted to your account as well, because you're very friendly, and you reach out, and you're not snobby, and you're cool with everyone as long as they're cool with you, basically.
Exactly. We agree to disagree with things, but like, I always have you guys' backs. Like, that's what solidarity is.
Exactly. So and then also just something I've grown in is you don't have to just say anything. You can really wait to say what you mean. Say what you mean what you say. Because sometimes, we just like, oh, I just want to tweet something because it feels good. But then it ends up, just being like a flop, But if you really, really took time to think about what you want to say, and you really, that's good content, as long as you mean what you say, and people feel those vibes. It's also meaning what you say. If you're just saying whatever, because you gotta be into it. You gotta be into it. You gotta, it feels silly to be into it.
And that's what people get attracted to. They want you in your most raw, authentic self. I think, like, it shows like you're an actual, you're a real person. This is you. This is who you are. This is who you stand for. Take it or leave it. And people like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're in we even saw it with how terrible Trump is. He gave off somewhat of an authenticity to his following, and that's why he became so popular.
Yeah, people like that. They don't like the roboticness of like accounts. They want you to be authentic, to be yourself.
Exactly. Be yourself. It's the more that you can embody what you believe, and really embody it, and not feel silly to be passionate about it.
Yeah.
The more you're going to attract people.
That is very true.
Very true. Some fun questions now. 5 dinner guests you would invite, dead or alive.
This is sentimental. I would first choose my dad. My dad passed away several years ago. So I'd love to have dinner with him one last time. I would choose Jesus, because how interesting would that be? I would choose, let's see, who else? Dinner guest. I'm not a person that really takes on heroes at all. So I don't really know, to be honest. That's it. My dad and Jesus.
Awesome.
Hey, that's fine. Hey,
that's good.
Yeah.
I guess I wouldn't mind, like, Malcolm X would be cool. Like, now that I'm thinking about him a little bit, and that whole group would be like that civil rights era to sit down with would be interesting too.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. What are your favorite comfort foods?
I love all Asian food, Thai food, Chinese.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, all of it. It's my favorite.
that's
And
dope.
then of course
Um,
ice cream and cookies and
me
sweets.
too.
Ice
Me
cream for
too.
me too.
Yeah,
Chocolate.
yeah. Where do you see Jory Micah 10 years from now?
10 years. Well, I've always wanted to write a book. Um, so
Ooh,
I hope that I am an author someday. I started writing a book a long time ago, and then I started just growing up so much that I was like, I don't even want to put this out yet because I don't know if I'm even going to believe what this book says in a few years. So I felt like I needed to grow up a little bit before I actually published some of the works that I've written. So
hmm.
I would like to be an author. I also am a survivor of the opioid epidemic. So I've got overcome some pretty big deal addictions in my life. And so my one of my big goals is that I would, and I don't know if this will happen in 10 years, but I hope it happens before I die, is that I would have some kind of like house for at-risk women and children. Women that are struggling with
Oh,
addiction or just dirt
Okay.
poor or coming out of an abusive relationship, and that I would have just, a big old mansion that would just be absolutely beautiful and just be
Uh,
filled with clothes and makeup and just all the things
beautiful.
women love,
that's a
and
wonderful thing.
to just help
That's
women
beautiful.
get off their feet again, basically.
That's
That's a
beautiful. It's
wonderful
a beautiful
thing.
thing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Last question. Which person would you want to see on Tea Time? But you have to convince them to come on to our show.
Oh my. I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to think about it more. I can't think of it on the top of my head.
You're good.
Okay. Yeah.
Can
When
you?
you think about it.
Whoever
I
wants.
mean, I'm not really good at remembering people's names very well.
Yeah. Me
So,
too.
I'm
Same.
sorry. I don't know off the top of my head. I don't know. Like I said, I don't have a lot of heroes. I kind of see everybody as equals, and
Yeah.
so I have a hard time like who do I want to hear from? I don't know. I want to hear from everybody.
Yeah. More
Okay.
regular folks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Working for
regular
That.
folks. Like,
regular
yeah, like
folks.
Yeah.
I'm more interested in people that are like at the bottom, at the very
Yeah. Here's
bottom,
people's
and
Yeah.
stories.
that are living the everyday experiences of the working class, like you guys, and
Awesome.
like I'm
Oh yeah.
much more interested in meeting with people like you than someone that's like has 200,000 followers that I'm like, I don't know if I really trust that person.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
it.
I understand. Yeah. Okay, Jory. I really enjoyed this.
We
I
really
enjoyed
did.
it
It was an
too.
awesome
It
interview.
was very nice meeting you both, and I'd be
Nice
happy to
meeting you
come back
too.
on sometime.
Yes. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
You're
Yeah.
welcome
You.
so much.
You're welcome to come back onto Tea Time anytime you want. Just hit me up on my DMs.
Yeah.
I sure
So,
will. Hey, I'll see you guys on Twitter later.
yeah, on
All
Twitter.
right. Yeah, I see you.
Bye.
Bye,
All right.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so that was the great Jory Micah. She's so cool. So
It was an
cool.
awesome, yeah, awesome interview. I can't wait for you guys to see it. So
Yeah. Cause she's a great woman. She does mutual aid. She's pro Palestine. We always
and we
ain't gonna agree to disagree on
and
stuff.
we
You see what
got
I'm saying?
and we got to come together. You agree. You may agree to disagree.
Yeah.
You educate. If you may not agree with what somebody said, go into their DMs, have a conversation, educate them on why it was wrong, but move forward, educate. It's all about camaraderie, solidarity, educating people. Like all we have is each other. We have this community. This community always gets gaslighted by the liberals. Um, we need to come together. Time is at the essence. Time is running short. We need to stop all this infighting. There's so many factions of leftists here. There's just so many different factions, but in the end,
It
we
is.
have one common enemy. That's the powers that be, the elites, whatever you want to
The
call them.
elites,
They
oligarchs.
oligarchs. They are our enemy, not me, not him, not him. Wait, pointing. Oh, wait.
The other way. There you
Not
go.
him, like not
I
her.
heard.
Like we all have to come together. We
Yeah.
really do. And use your platform for blah blah blah. Cannot speak. Use your platform for good. Um, whatever you got to say, speak your truth to power. But no, I don't want to hear any boutique leftists or anybody coming at us. We are called a voice for the voiceless for a reason. We come here, we let people talk, and we give them a voice. You
Yeah.
have a problem? Come to our show. Let me give
Yeah.
you a voice.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Come on. I'll be glad to welcome you. And flame broil you too for saying some slick. Yeah, man. You know, Ty Peasant, to be honest with you, you are the reason why I'm still want to work with the left, because you see something that I don't see. You see ahead of time. Mate, you see that hopefully some of these people will get their act together and we all come together for a common goal. Cause that's why
Yeah,
that's why we're on here.
there's sometimes people that may annoy the shit out of me, or somebody that like was rude to me or something, but best believe I'm still gonna retweet their mutual aid. If they're coming in my DMs, and best believe I'm still going to retweet their stuff. Like, even if I'm having a bad day, I'm still gonna retweet your shit, because you know what? It's so easy to do. That's what I'm
It's
saying.
easy.
Like, it's
Just
easy. As
couple
the
buttons.
left, we're a part of the left. We're a part that always gets shitted on. The government never talks good about us. We're called terrorists. We're called every name in the book.
Hamas supporters.
Yeah, Hamas supporters, like everything, and I'm down with Hamas. But like what I'm trying to say is we need to come together. Time is at the essence. We need to stop this infighting on who's a better leftist. Because in the end, all of us have one common enemy. We're real. We're real people. And time is of the essence. What's happening in Gaza is going to come over here. It's already coming here
It's here now.
slowly. But it's going to be to the point where we're going to be looking at each other and we're going to say, "Oh my God, we ran out of time." So right now we're in a key pivotal moment that we need to come together as a group, as leftists.
Yeah. And that's why me, you, Provolone, Kybra, Marty, and
Travis.
Kay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Travis. Did I miss anybody? That's why we come together to form a network, because we know time is running out, and we need to everybody has a voice. We need to educate different.
Everyone has a voice, and no matter what you do, no matter if your platform is small, big, whatever, your voice is what matters. They may take everything away from us, but we will always have our voice. Like, I don't want to hear, "Oh, I'm only a revolutionary because I read theory and this and that." Reading theory is fine. Educating yourself is great. But, if you have revolution in your heart and your soul, if you're a revolutionary in your heart and soul, that's what mainly matters. If you're there for your comrades, no matter what you're going through and no matter what they're going through, that's what matters. Because in the end, all this theory will be thrown out the window when the real revolution happens. Like, all that shit's going to be out the door. What matters is how you trust people, how your camaraderie is, how you're going to be there for that person. That's all what really matters in the end. So that's why we started the network. We started the network to start speaking our truth, start spreading it, trying to get more people to join, to come together, get mutual aid started, because our government is not going to help us. They're not helping us now. So really all we have is each other. All we have is to support each other financially or whatever that we need to do to for us to come together, because no one's going to save us but us.
Facts. And everybody has a place in a revolution. Like, we need people to make clothes. We need people to feed
to take care of
us,
children,
take
feed
care of kids,
animals,
take care of
everything.
pets and cattle. Yes. So,
You know, not
you
not
know,
not everyone, not everyone's going to be a fighter, but you
yeah,
can fight for different sections of the revolution. Every single person, if you have heart for the revolution, there is a place for you. There's a
right.
place for you.
Yep. Um, okay, guys. On the bottom of your ticker, my best friend, my comrade,
Oh.
my the CEO of the ATP network, Tired Peasant. She need our help more than ever now. I'm not gonna get into all the details. She'll probably explain it to you on her show, but donate to her Cash App. Any amount helps. $1, $2, $5, $10. Any amount helps. She needs our help. Now. Like, I hate to see my comrades struggle. It bothers me. When they hurt, I hurt. That's real comrades do. So just anything, guys.